Hello everyone, welcome back to some more of The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, a great deal of things happened. Let's see. I don't remember much stuff from the beginning, other than the fact that I think Lord Strongheart was doing something, was told Marie Gory, the autopsyist, to not tell any time of death, but whatever. Essentially, the issue was at the time of death wasn't, it couldn't be determined, because apparently the body was in fine condition, but some of the meat and such inside the body, inside of the coat, was deteriorated. So there's no real way to determine when the body died. That's one. Second thing is the stuff that happened towards the end, namely the fact that, if I remember, the first thing was that the person that penned all of Sholmes' escapades and such was not actually Dr. John H. Wilson, was actually Susato's father, Eugene Mikotoba. That's right. All along, they were partners. The issue, of course, is that Iris thinks that John H. Wilson is her father when really the handwriting is different, so it's a whole thing. Anyways, right now we're going to continue on. We're going to go into the final episode. And oh boy, is this a doozy. Seriously, looking at how long the guide for this episode is, I think we have a lot. Let me see. Table of contents. Oh, okay, well, yeah, there's... Okay, it's not as long as number 3. Okay, so this is not going to be too long, so... We're at episode 82 now, I think, so I don't think this will go as far as, like 100 episodes or so, but... Yeah, well... anyways... I guess... Let's get into it. Final chapter. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yeah? No, reading from a bit of Sholmes' from a, Sherlock Holmes book? No? Wow. And what is this theme? 3rd of November, 9:14 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. So, the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Miss Susato. Miss Susato? Well, yeah? Oh no, what's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Nothing. I was just saying I'll be relying on your support today, but... I'm so sorry. Of course. I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down. Would you mind helping me to my feet, then? Oh dear. I'm really very sorry. Also, rather incompetent? What does that mean? She's literally been the person that gave us the hints we need to solve the problems most of the time. Talking about incompetent. Was that whole Grandmaster chess strategy she pulled back in case 5? Incompetent? I mean, it was unethical, but not incompetent. Susato-san isn't her usual self today at all. But that's highly surprising, I suppose. She just found out that her father was a partner of a world-famous detective. Not to mention... Good morning, sir. Oh. Lord Van Zeeks. Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. What? Did I hear that correctly?
What?
Oh, no, nothing, just... I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. Lord Van Seeks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Good point.
The Reaper? I suppose in hindsight, I should have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged.
Huh?
It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than mere legend that led to all this.
But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Seeks. It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it?
To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason.
What do you mean?
There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. That, having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's relentless spirit returned as some sort of demigod to wield a deadly blade of justice, where I, by the dint of the law, could not.
Yes, we've heard that story too.
When I lost him, I felt as though I had lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public.
He was obviously extremely important to you, Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today.
I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity.
Thank you.
Now, tell me, why do I detect the sense of expensive tea leaves in the air?
Oh, Iris. Where did you get here? Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Hurley loves it. He says it helps him to clear his head.
I thank you.
Oh. That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. I wouldn't be so sure. You seem different today, Iris. Oh? Sort of, subdued, I suppose. I'm not! What happened yesterday is obvious, as though playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Sai's laboratory. Alright then. Good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh? You're not staying? I thought you'd want to watch today's proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready. Get ready? For what? Oh, yes. Would you take this? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack? Yes,
It's a lucky charm. A little Hurley that I made once.
Hurley. Looks more like a Harley to me.
If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
What? Pull his ears?
That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it.
Alright then. You think what we'll need is luck?
I just need to peek inside the courtroom. And it seemed very different to normal.
Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops.
What does that mean?
What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and he had to come back home by the time I left this morning.
Oh, I see. Was Professor Migatoba out all night too, do you think, Mrs. Sato?
Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning.
And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all. They?
Father and Judge Jigoku, I mean.
Judge Jigoku too?
That's right. Nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to begin in session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once.
Good luck then, Runo. Good luck then, Susie.
Yes. Thanks, Iris.
And you, Mr. Reaper. I hope it all goes well.
Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad.
We must go inside now, Lord Van Zieks. Lord Van Zieks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today, I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asogi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. Third of November, 9:30 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Feels even more oppressive in here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today.
Mr. Naruto, look.
Hey, Lord Strongheart?
Cosmo must have known beforehand.
The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system.
The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak.
Britain is currently housing influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial, and one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority.
The extinguished flames just...
As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart.
You know, now that I think about it, Strongheart's and Cosmo's voice sound way too similar, doesn't it? Whatever.
On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zeeks. You are a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother, Clint, in fact.
Ooh, played the brother card.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session for the trial of Barack Van Zeeks, who officially stands accused of murder. Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed?
The defense is ready, my lord.
As is the prosecution.
You know, I'm not sure. Should I give... Because if I'm going to be using Lord Strongheart's voice more now, I do kind of want to give Cosmo a thing. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back. So, I'm thinking that this voice would be good for Cosmo. I mean, it does kind of sound similar to his objection voice in the bonus section. So I guess we'll be keeping that voice. Maybe I'll switch it back, I don't know. Or maybe I'll figure out something different. I don't know. Anyways. As is the prosecution.
Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard.
Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about.
And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice.
Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification, and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, when in fact he wasn't.
At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memory at the other time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abetted the convict's escape.
Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinners. He's recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League.
Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery of the victim's pocket watch had not been wound.
The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord.
Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Osogi.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on 31st of October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. Sorry for 1 sec.
But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday. That the time of death was 5 PM on 1st of November.
Because you told her to say that? There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. Ooh, they're not playing on the same side. It seems the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled.
That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident.
It would, yes. Especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities.
Do I sense the prosecution has some information regarding those activities?
Scotland Yard... not that one.
Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating
that precise matter yesterday. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So, the prosecution calls its first witness now. Yeah? Not even gonna... That was Clint's autopsy report. Let me look through this again, because, Then... Passport in his possession. Ooh, okay. He was planning on leaving, I guess. Okay, it's the day before his body was discovered. Do we have to investigate these all over again? Okay, let me skip through this because we'll have to. I'm pretty sure we'll use this again because we didn't use this last time. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. That's the passport, which we know of. What the? Yeah, passport. I guess they didn't expect you to look through it. I don't know. Anyways. Yep, 31st October, day before the incident. Congratulations. Then this little piece of whatever sticking through the thing. I can't find anything out of place. It is very clearly out of place. Fragment of metal. Too tight to remove. Huh. State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Gina Lestrade, reporting. Sensitive of Scotland Yard. A self-conferred rank, but never mind. Gina? Again? What's the problem, Otto? What's with that one, Gina? Again? Look, huh? The boss meant the world to me. He's done more for me than anyone else ever did.
Oh? Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out of the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Told me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him.
Oh, Gina.
Right, all out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he's had his arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes, no. What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation just today has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about.
Very troubling.
That face. What Strongheart knew! So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in the report. Come right up, sir. The victim's movements. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a lot of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealing that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is, there's witnesses what saw the reap out the place too.
Smuggled goods?
I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time. So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets?
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority, without the Yard's knowledge.
And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time?
In a particular room with a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter.
That can't be. We haven't heard anything about this.
Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused, Beric Van Zeeks, was present.
At a gentleman's club? No, really. Beric Van Zeeks at a gentleman's club.
That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh my. But... Lord Van Zeeks has made no mention of this at all.
In short, Lord Van Zeeks has ample opportunities to murder the victim.
Very well then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Smoke goods dealings that day. Alright then. Do what they're told.
Hold it!
Let's see this one. So how did Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case? That's the question, ain't it? Well, I'm just an apprentice, so... And why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings? Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, cause, you know, I'm just an apprentice. When it suits you, yes. Anyway, the point is, something went on with that club. No question. You can't say that for certain, though, surely.
Hold it!
What is this? Do you have any idea where those dealings were taking place? Yup. It was all in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember. As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club. Oh, wait, wrong person. Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of this club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in these proceedings.
But that doesn't make sense.
One. So you're telling me now this gentleman's club, which we have not heard of, and that cannot be how we have not heard of, was the site where he could have died. But we can't know where the place is, and we can't even know the place's name. And matter of fact, you even said it yourself that that a lot of high-ranking members of the government or whatever, the same high-ranking members that would be here, where's part of the smuggling ring or whatever, and so they might use that place again, is what you're saying. But they're here. They're most likely here watching the trial go on. Meaning they're more than likely going to switch locations anywho, since they know we're onto them. What is this? That doesn't make sense at all. Alright then. I don't know what the fuss is all about. It's right here. All I've got to do is read it out. And I could too. I got this reading game buttoned up now. Can't I show you what I can do? Come on. What's the arm? The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? Oh. Sure. We got no reason not to. Plus, it's not like Strongheart stopping it. This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. As I explained, there was some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Cosmo? There is no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail the day in question. Yeah, that plus the fact that those same politicians are probably watching us right now. In other words, they already know we're onto them. All they have to do is just change locations. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive. Right then, I'll get to show off my reading skills. Apparently, the smuggled goods deal was going to happen at a gentleman's club called the Grouse. The Grouse? The Grouse. Fresno Street, no. Sorry, I don't think there was anything saying the Grouse anywhere. Huh. That's... no. Alright, select charm. Huh. The Grouse. Oh! Oh, sorry. I literally looked at I was looking at my guide to see what to do. I literally could not figure out. That's what it was. No, I remember this. Okay, so this is one of the probably more, I guess not stupid, but it's, you gotta be observant to realize this. Remember how the letter of introduction was written on the back of a ticket to the steamship? Right here. Let's read this over again. Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse. See what I mean? The ship is known as the SS Grouse. Let's see. Okay, so the ship is called the SS Grouse. Therefore, objection! It's not really a club, is it? Yeah, it's a bit hard to figure out unless you're like actually observant or you actually remember everything. But yeah, it would be nice if the developers may have put here, like it's written on the back of the written on the back of a passage ticket on a steamship known as the SS Grouse. That way you could see it, you know. But hey, it is what it is. I have read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Oh, I thought they were a different kind of club. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Yeah, you're foreign too. Seriously? Is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Grouse? The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean, though the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st of October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. You're showing a very reverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Counsel. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A steamship. You think It's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it here. Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Yeah. The other side, my lord.
Be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship. Yes. The SS Grouse.
Objection!
So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with this club. But I'm afraid to say there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port.
The ship arrived at the port of Denver on 1st of November.
The day in which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st of October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission, that ship hadn't yet docked in British shores.
That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
Objection!
The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. Then show your evidence for that assertion. Very well.
In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim to the victim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the 31st of October.
Obviously, the passport we found. Within 1 week from the 31st of October, yeah.
Take that!
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim? Dated 31st of October. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that just 1 day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country. Yeah?
Order! Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized.
The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northeastern coast of France for a night. According to my father, who was on board at the port of Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, France. What could have possibly have taken the victim there?
I'm impressed, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean you knew about this? The prosecution's strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation of the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something. What? And now that you have explicitly disproven the assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe to be that something to be.
What are you playing at, Prosecutor Osogi?
A courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts, without exception.
Let me guess.
This was your intention from the start, from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper.
The Reaper? Order! Order! What on earth are you saying, counsel?
The prosecution had made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was in fact acting for the Reaper. So you're saying the mission he was undertaking was, obviously, an assassination. Yeah? Gregson? Assassination? Barrick Van Zeek never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast-iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice.
And you claim that it was Inspector Gregson?
What the hell do you think you're saying, huh? My boss would never done nothing like that. And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense. No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper.
Even so, there's no way that the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zeek's. No. The true Reaper is somebody else.
Barrick Van Zeeks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all.
Oh? You have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, Counsel?
Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard that steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it. What's so funny? You're right. Of course, no suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure. Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade. Huh? Or the victim's notebook said that she read an excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey. You're lying. I even followed on blood is what got taken out at Common. The boss weren't the Reaper. Poor Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumours. I heard nothing. I don't believe a word of it. Then testify again, as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I don't...
I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Mr. Strad, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook.
Yeah, this notebook does have a lot of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, days and places and stuff, and the last entry in there was 31st of October. It said Grouse for the place on that date, then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper on court 10 years ago or something like that. But honest, The boss didn't do nothing, none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
Keep personal opinions out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here.
This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now. Surely, Ryodosuke Naruhodo. What can't I deny? The notebook contained the names of the final mark, and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could only have known if he was working with the Reaper. Ah.
So, who was to be this final mark?
Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the grouse on 31st of October. Huh? Oh, how'd you read this then? Reading's still not a strong suit. I ain't the problem, alright, Otto? It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's odd to read. So it's someone from overseas? Let me have a bash at it. Seishiro. Is it? Yeah. Seishiro. G-O-A-U. Maybe? What? It can't be. Seishiro Jigoku? But that's Judge Jigoku.
Seishiro Jigoku. Certainly not an English name, you're right.
Objection!
But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku, and I saw him the day before yesterday, here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated. As I said, the Reaper failed. Oh. Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake. So he killed the inspector. Personally. The Reaper of course being the accused, Barack Van Zieks.
It's an undeniably logical argument.
Kazuma! You planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
What? Who said that? Oh.
Pray, forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice whilst I stand accused of murder.
Lord Van Zieks.
The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to the dock. I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. That girl is no detective.
Huh? What? No, that's right. I'm an inspector.
Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony. It's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you planned. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I'm the Reaper, who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago. But you're in danger of becoming far more sinister Reaper yourself, by attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony.
What did you say? Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance. My lord, the defense requests that the defendant be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information related to the testimony just given by the witness. Why is it a unicorn?
Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for their cross-examination.
Then allow me to toast to the court's impartiality.
Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately.
At once, my lord. Alright, I think that's where we'll end things off today. Yeah, this episode's not gonna be a whole hour. No. Anyways, alright, I guess let us end things here. So, everyone, I'd like to say, thank you for watching, and, yeah, next time we're going to go through this cross-examination, see what we can find, and so on. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.